Okay, stand clear again under the swing. And again. So here we are at the Masters event. So the Masters event is once the prelims are over, and then the highest scoring competitors will go through to the Masters. That can vary depending on how many people are competing. It might be 5, 4, 3, depending on how many there is for men and women. They'll go through to the Masters. So the Masters will be, it could be the same day if you've got prelims done really quick and they want to get it all crammed in one day, or it might be the next day completely. So that's the Masters, and then once the actual Masters event itself is, you'll walk into a ring, there'll be a tree or trees, depending on what they've got available to them, and you'll start from the floor, and what you'll do is you'll set your line into the tree, and then there'll be 4 bells in the tree itself, so then you'll climb up, get the bells, and then come back out of the tree, take your gear out, and then that'll be the event over. So the event, you'll obviously be able to walk in and there'll be a walkthrough beforehand, so you can have a look around the tree, set your plan, how you want it, and then obviously things don't always go to plan, but you can have a good look at angles and all that. So that's the idea of a Masters event, of what you have to actually do. There will be a time limit depending on the tree. So for example, this tree we've got here, we're going to have 25 minutes because it's not a massive tree. Some of the bigger trees, you might end up with 40-minute Masters. So your aim is to use as much of that time as you can, but finish the event and get all your gear out in time. So we're just going to go now through step by step from the ground, and then ascending, putting your line in, getting into the tree, and then each station, and then retrieving your gear. We're going to go through all that, and then right at the very end of that, we'll have a demo run demonstrating the entire Masters run. That'll either be at the end of this video, or we might make a new video entirely because it will be roughly 25 minutes. But yeah, stay tuned. Okay, so this is the gear that you might need for the event. The essentials that you'll need is obviously a rope or 2 ropes, depending on how you want to climb. Obviously your harness with your scabbard with sawn off blade or tape over the cutting bit. You'll have to take 3 cubes, take your gear, even extra gear that you think you might need if your plan doesn't go quite to how you want it, because once you take it into the ring, you're allowed to use it if it's in the ring. Also there might be a separate gear check, so anything you didn't put through gear check originally in prelims, you will be able to add more stuff in. They'll just need to check it and then approve that it's allowed to be used in the Masters. But yeah, this is virtually essentials. You're allowed to take and use a big shot in this. So I have one here that I'll use. So other than that, that's pretty much the basics. Obviously your PPE, helmet, glasses, appropriate clothing and footwear. But that is generally what you'll need for the Masters. So this is the tree that we're going to use today for the Masters. So we'll get a wider shot coming now, and we've got bells here and everywhere. You might be able to just see the log toss is going to be over there. So you'd come in on the when you're allowed to have a look at the tree, and then you'd obviously be able to they'll give you like half an hour or so to have a look around the tree. You'd have to be able to look up, see where you want to throw in, where all the bells are, obviously. So we've got a low bell here, I can see. Some nice good anchors up there. A couple of low bells, weighted branch, log toss over there. Yeah, so there's a nice high bell right up near my anchor point as well. So you better come in and obviously see if you can see anything else on the tree itself, like any defects that you might want to mention when you do your walk around, your talk, like safety briefing. But yeah, you'd be able to have a look at the tree, and you'd go off. This is when also they might say the order. So if you won prelims, you'll get to choose first what position you want to go in out of, say there was 5 people, for example, you'll be able to choose whether you go 1 to 5, so you might choose third, right in the middle. whatever you want to choose. So and then second would choose then, and then third, fourth and fifth would choose what order they want to go in. So this is probably when they might do it then, or they might do it the night before when prelims is finished, and then everyone knows what the score is there. So you'd be able to then have to go off, and you'd have an isolated area where you can't see the tree, where you'd have to wait, where everyone takes their turn, goes in order like you just discussed. And so then once you've done your climb, if there's people after you, you're allowed to watch them. So it's great. It is actually quite good if you're, say, competing elsewhere, not your chapter. It can be, and you make masters and they allow you to climb, it's actually quite good to go first because you're there to learn generally. Everything's a learning experience, but it'd be where you'd learn the most because you'd go first, and then you'd be able to watch all the other climbers go and do their climb and see how things were done differently and learn that way. So just a little tip there for you, I guess. So that's the walk around and what would happen there. So we'll go into pretty much walking into the ring and throw lining. Okay, so once it's your turn to enter the ring, you'll get to the, shall we say, gate. This will be all like barricaded off with tape. So you'll get to the gate, and then the judges generally will let you just place your gear into the ring, especially if you've got quite a lot and you can't carry it all in one go. Sometimes they'll let you just put them in the ring, and then once you walk through the gate, your time would start then. But the judges will talk you through it all and help you out, and they can even ask you generally what time calls you might want. So if you want the last 10 minutes, the last 5, and then 3, and then whatever you want, counting you down 10, 9, hopefully we won't get to that. But so yeah, so you'll be able to put everything in like this, have another quick look, ready, and then they'll say to you, you're ready, and you'll be enter the ring, and that's when your time would start. Okay, so now if you have the score sheet in front of you, we're just going to start going through that step by step. So the first top, you can just see that there's a visual tree assessment. So I'll just go back over there and I'll enter the ring and I'll just do a quick demo of what I would say for this tree, and then go from there. Okay, so in the visual tree assessment, you'd step through and your time would start. Okay, so I'm just going to go over here and just lay my throw line down, and I'm just going to do a quick visual tree assessment of the tree, so if you can just follow me around. So the base of the tree doesn't look to be anything there, no pests or diseases that I can see. The major unions all look really good. There's a bit of dead up there, but nothing where I'm going to be climbing, so I'm quite happy with that. There's no power lines, there's no hangers that I can see. There's no root plate movement either. The tree looks safe to climb. Also, so we want to, here's the what 3 words for our location. So that's where we are. If we need an ambulance, you could ask for a helicopter to land in the field. Hopefully we won't need that. Can you also be my rescue climber if we need to be? Yeah, thank you. So my plan is to obviously shoot up using the big shot into the tree here, and then climb around, get all the bells as safely and efficiently as possible, and then I'll descend out the tree and retrieve my gear. Okay, so now you're going to install your climbing line. So you can see there's 3 columns there. So you've got the actual throw line. So if you get it first try, you get 10. If you get second, third, fourth, fifth, and then 6, and any more than 6 throws, you don't get any points. So you can follow the score in there. And then height of union, so the top shot, you get 4 points for that. And then the judges will tell you usually on your walk around what's top shot, and then what's just below, like 3, 2, 1, and then nothing if you're like literally throwing it over the bottom branch. And then your technique, so if the judges really like your throwing style and you get it first shot, you might get maximum points in your technique there. So that's discretionary down to the judges, that. So that's throw line. So I'll just installing your climbing line, so I'll just go and demo that now, install my climbing line. So like I said before, you can use a big shot in this, so I'll use a big shot to install my line. Okay, so can everyone please stand clear? I'm just going to have a shot into the tree at my anchor point. Okay, just make sure that's in there nicely. Everyone stand clear. Okay, there we have that. So now I'm just going to do some manipulation on the tree, on my line, just to get that in there nicely. So stand clear for manipulating, just in case it falls out. Bit of a knot, get rid of that. So in this I'm just going to drop it down. I've got it just above the top anchor, so that'll be a 4. And I'm just going to double bag, so drop another bag over the union that I want. I'll just head over there and drop that over. Okay, so I'm just going to drop this other throw line over the union that I want. So I'll head back over here. And then I'll lift them both up, back all the way to the top. Drop it over the union, and it should be nicely isolated as well. A little bit of messing around here, so stand clear for manipulation. So there we are, just over that limb. Get nice and isolated. All the way down. And then I'm just going to go and remove this line because I don't need it anymore. And then install my rope. So in this situation, what I'm doing is I'm going to do a canopy tie. There is other options like base tying. You might want a base tie because it can be quite efficient for masters is base tying. But in this scenario, in this demo that I'm doing, I'll just isolate my rope and then do a canopy tie for the top tie. Because sometimes the top tie, judges might not actually want you to base tie on that. So this is where canopy tie is needed. So just pulling this throw line out so it's not in the tree, I don't have to deal with it later. Just like this. Don't want to lose this ball, so I'll just retie it on. So there's a little bit more involved in the masters and installing your line, but generally just staying composed, nice and relaxed, and just like another day at work then. So yeah, I'll just go now grab my rope. While I'm here, I'm going to grab my gear that I'm going to need. So I've brought 2 ropes with me. So I'm just going to install my climbing line. Just check again that it is isolated, which it looks like it is. So just tying this on. There is methods, so because you've looked to the tree, you might want to think if you were base tying, you could have a lot of your system set up. Maybe if I was more efficient, I could have already tied like a carabiner or something onto that rope, so I would have just clipped it straight onto the bag. I wouldn't have to have tied it on, just to save a couple seconds here and there, because you never know whether you're going to need them when you're coming down out the tree. Okay, so just coming down now. There we are. So that's installing my line in the tree. For what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a running bow line and then just use my second rope as the retrieval line. So I'm just going to tie that. Obviously knowing your knots is handy, and if you want to do a Yosemite tie off or just do a regular stopper knot is fine. And then because I'll probably end up altering all this once I get to the top. I'll just clip this straight onto here for now, which will do. Just super simple. You can make it as hard as you want, or as complicated, as technical as you want it. It's entirely up to you, this is. So then I'd ask for a second judge to just jump on this with me. So they jump on it just to make sure, double check that the anchor point is safe and good to climb on. So for this example, that's the line installed. Okay, so the next step, as you can see on the score, if you're following along, is to set up your climbing line, the equipment, and your entry into the tree. So on your setup, I've already installed my line, so now I'd put on the system that I want to use. This is SRT, so it'll be a wrench is what I'm going to use, or you could use a Kimbo or Rope Runner Pro, whichever one, and then they'll say whether it's safe and efficient setup, everything, and they'll score you on that in that column. And then the next section is entry into the tree, so they'll judge you on whether it was suitable, safe, and you're always secure all the time, and then whether it was a smooth, fluid, and an energy efficient way of getting into the tree, and they'll score you on that and then fill in the column. So score you on all that. So now I'll just demo that and then get into the tree. Okay, so I'm just going to install my system onto the line. Just a rope wrench with a VT. So let's tie that. And then I'll get my harness on. And then I'll get ready to ascend the tree. So I'll just do that. I'm just going to set my hitch. Looks like it all works nice. So I'm happy with that. Put my harness on. Double check I've got everything. Believe I do. Get everything tightened up. Just going to clip in. Check that it all grabs. Just showing that my system is going to hold me when I'm not touching it, and I got all my weight in it. And then just going to have everyone just stand clear as I ascend into the tree. Okay, as I'm ascending, having a quick look at my route. Doesn't appear to be anything that I missed on the floor, so just going to continue. Okay, so I've just ascended the tree, so now we're going to move on to the next section, which is where the main of the points are. So you're on to now the workstations. So you've got 4 workstations. You have the handsaw 1, handsaw 2, the limb toss, and then the plumb bob. So as you can see, they're all scored between A and F in each column there. You can score in between 0 and 10. So in this demo, I'm just going to demo one bell, and then you'll have a rough idea what they're looking for every single station. So as you can see, in A, you've got the tie-in point or the redirect. Was it suitable for the workstation that you're about to do? And then you've got B, like maintaining proper tension in your system and rope management. You got C, which is your overall plan and your route to the bell. You got D, which is was you confident, posture and balance at the station with you all looking good. And then you've got control of movement to and from the station. So you might put a little swing in there, and then you climb it, you actual walking out on the branch to the bell, that's all that scoring. And then F, which is did you complete the station? So if you hit the bell, then you've completed that station, so you get 10 points instantly. So that's what I'm just about to demo now, and then we'll move on to the descent. Stand clear, loose gear. Stand clear for swing. Flick my line across here. I'm going to feed some rope through, so everyone stand clear. That's enough. Stand clear, little swing. Ever so light. A lanyard in here. Try and keep as much weight off the branch as I can. Let's see. One, I've got a long enough lanyard. And two, I can reach the bell. Stand clear for bell. Just still again. Try and keep weight off the limb. Don't need my lanyard now. Ease myself back in. And then I'd carry on to the next station. So that was the demo for the weighted branch. And now we'll just go, so you do that for every station you get scored on. So now I'll demo retrieving your gear. So that was a demo of the weighted branch. So you do that for every station, and then now you'll be into the descent. So in the descent, landing and retrieval of your gear, so you want to be in a well-planned descent, rope control, no tangles is what you want as you're descending. You want a proper descent speed, so not like absolutely bombing out. You want a smooth, balanced landing as well. You want to land 2 feet nicely, no effort. And then you want smooth gear retrieval, so without any struggle. You don't want to be writhing on stuff. You want it to come out nice and smooth, and then you're safe and controlled, so hopefully, ideally, you don't want gear falling out the tree is what you want. You want it all just come down, pull it out, and then just a rope falling out the tree is the ideal world. So I'll just demo that now, and then we'll go into discretionary points after that. Okay, so stand clear for descent. Okay, and I'm just going to untie my system, and then I'm just going to retrieve my gear. System off. I'm going to tidy up my rope. and pull that through. Hopefully it doesn't snag on anything. Stand clear for rope. Looks good. That's that in there, and then I'm just going to retrieve the retrieval line. So again, just stand clear in case it dislodges anything I didn't see before. Okay, retrieval line done. I just need to untie my knot, and then once this rope hits the ground, my time will stop. So stand clear for rope. Time. So that's that. So now we'll just go into discretionary points. Okay, so in the next box, if you're still following along with the score sheet, we've got the discretionary points. So you have overall demonstration of skill, style and presentation throughout the tree. And then you've got also another one which is use of innovation, techniques and equipment throughout the tree, and then overall safe work practices and techniques. So each one of them is scored between 0 and 5, and that's throughout your entire climb. So from leaving the ground to whatever you do in the canopy, it's where you can gain a few extra points there if you do some cool little tricks in the tree. And then yeah, so that's all your discretionary points. So now we'll just move on to the penalty points. So now we're into the penalties box area. So if you're following along with the score sheet, you can see at the top, which is 0 to -5, you have unsafe act, per performance or technique in the tree. And then below that, you've got unsafe acts. So that will be, there could be a few things, but like just being reckless and swinging around in the tree and just breaking limbs here, there and everywhere. There's a few unsafe acts you could do there. Unclipping from your system and not being tied in, just yeah, things like that obviously would be a straight DQ. Then below that you can see there's breaking limbs and the diameter range. So on the walk round you'll be shown the size of the limb where you would get a DQ, but also it looks like now that they've changed it slightly, so if you're breaking little branches in the tree, you can still get minus points throughout, even just breaking little ones. So just try and be as smooth as you can and not damage the tree at all. And then we've got removal of equipment from the tree. So that's just pulling your gear out of the tree and getting all the ropes to the ground. So there is a little way where if you wanted to get like 2 bells or 3 bells and then pull your gear down out of the tree, you can do that. If you get it out of the tree before the time limit finishes, you wouldn't get the -20 there. So that's one to be aware of there. And then below that you've got audible warnings. So when you're in the tree, make sure you call all audible warnings when you're like doing a swing, when you're taking some equipment off, loose gear, when you're doing the log toss, remember to say all clear before each one, all that. And then audible warnings again below that, which is throwing from the ground. So throwing, you want to say stand clear, throwing, or big shot, stand clear, all that. Just keep your audible warnings up. And then you have right at the bottom, you've got throws that might land outside the ring. So make sure just not to let your throw line go out of the ring. So if you get it out once, it'll be like a -1, and then if it goes out again, they could DQ you. So just try and keep it inside the ring. So that's all the discretionary, all the penalty points, sorry. So that's all the penalty points done. So now we'll just go through into a full walkthrough of the entire event demo, from start to finish, all 4 bells, gear out, and see if I can do it in 25 minutes. Judges ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, it's going to bring my gear in. I'm late here for now. I'm probably going to be shooting from exactly here. So I'll just do a quick walk around first, if everyone can just follow me. So let's go look at the base of the tree. There doesn't appear to be any movement at the base of the tree. It all looks sound. There's no pests or diseases there. So I'm happy with that. The unions and everything, they all look fine. I'm happy with the unions. There's no major deadwood in the areas I'm going to go. There is deadwood up there, but I won't be going near them, so I'm happy with that. There's no power lines or anything like that we can see here. We're in the middle of a field, so if we do need an ambulance, you judge will be the rescue climber as well, if that's okay. And then also, if we need an ambulance, we have a helicopter, will be perfect. Just in my bag over there, we have a risk assessment as well, which I already filled out, which has the address and our what 3 words, the location that we are now. So if you need any more information, it's on that there. So I'm just going to now go and install a line. So, yeah. Okay. I'm going to use a big shot for this. Move these ones out of the way. Okay, can everyone stand clear? Okay. I'm pretty happy with that shot. Should be able to just double bag the one I want. Everyone can stand clear while I'm manipulating. Don't want anything just to break out and fall down on you. So stand clear. Just caught on a little branch there. Okay, there we are. Lower that down. All the way to there. Bit of a tangle, it's all good. I'm just going to use my second line here just to drop this line over the union that I'm after. Okay, same again, just stand clear while I'm manipulating this in case he accidentally unclips and falls from the tree. Try and get it on this side. Almost. I'm going to pull this one. Just don't want it to get tangled on those little bits of friff. Oh, it's gone and unclipped itself. That's a rare occurrence. That's what I was after before, because it's a good thing everyone's stand cleared. Stand clear, just going to hopefully get this to come down where I want it. Yeah, get rid of this one, I don't need it now. Just keeping everything tidy, so nothing's in the way and can catch on anything and mess things up. So I don't need them now, I'll leave them there. Just going to get this isolated because I will be doing a canopy tie. So stand clear one last time for manipulation. Okay. Spare. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm just going to Get my rope on there now. Again, just stand clear as I pull my rope up. Okay, because I'm going to go up there and change my anchor anyway, I'll just do a running bow line and send up a retrieval line with that. My carabiner is my stopping knot for that. Cinch that up on there. Just going to load it. Yep, I'm happy with that. Leave this out the way as well. And then you can tie my gear on and start going up. Again, I will do another inspection once I get in the tree. Just second everything and make sure that I'm happy that the tree is safe to climb. But so far I'm happy to climb. So I was climbing on the wrench today. The VT. Just gonna check that that grabs before I do anything else. Yep, happy with that. Okay. Just gonna start my ascent into the top and get that top bell to start with. So everyone just stand clear while I ascend. Just as I'm ascending, just having another look at the tree and the route that I'm going to be taking. Doesn't appear to be anything that I couldn't see before, so I'm happy to continue. Okay, as I reach the top, see the first station. Just going to go over and grab that first bell. And then I'll alter my anchor. It's in a good position right here. That's lanyard in. Okay, happy with that. Stand clear for bell. Okay, lanyard in again. Nice position, I'm happy with that. Now I'm just going to alter my anchor point into a retrievable anchor point from the ground. So yeah, stand clear rope in case it does come out. Okay, it's going to be my anchor. I'm just going to alpine the blocker knot thing on my cambio saver, and then just going to put my retrieval line connected to that. Okay, I'm going to check that while I've still got my lanyard on. Okay, I'm happy with that. Remove my lanyard and go get some of these lower bells. Okay. Oh, it's going to actually put a redirect up here. So lanyard in again. Get my second redirect. Stand clear, loose gear. Cinch that off there. Still in my lanyard. I'm going to pull this over and clip it in. Just going to check that, make sure before I take my lanyard off that I'm happy with that redirect. Okay, feels good to me. Okay, stand clear, just going to go for a little swing. I'll pull a load of rope through. Going to be on this side for 2 bells. Okay, stand clear for rope. Just enough. Okay, stand clear again, another swing. And again. Okay, bell's actually on the lower limb. Checking my line. Real good line there. I'm going to get myself in a nice position here. Okay, happy with that. Stand clear for bell. Just make my way past this limb. Keeping my line nice and tight.
10 minutes remaining.
Thank you very much. Now let's make our way over to the log toss. Okay, nice angle again. Come on, yard in. Stand clear for bell. Okay, so 3 shots. Stand clear log. Stand clear log. Second. Gonna tail my rope through here. So stand clear for rope. Stand clear for a little swing. Again, just going to get my rope on the correct side. Stand clear for another swing. Okay, so just nip up to the top now. Get this redirect out. And then come down for the final bell. Okay. Got 1 yard in now. And get this redirect out. Keep it nice and tight. Okay, happy with that. Just going to get my redirect out completely. Don't want to leave that in there. Stand clear again, loose gear. Okay, happy with my system. Get rid of the lanyard. See the bell down there nicely. Okay, tail this rope through just in case it snags on a branch. Stand clear rope. Happy with that for now. Stand clear little swing. We go over here and get a little bit of a better redirect. I'm going to tail my rope through here. So one last time, stand clear for rope. And again.
5 minutes remaining.
Thank you very much. Stand clear, just coming through this fork. Try and be as light as possible. Okay, I'm going to try and reach across from here. Stand clear for bell. A little bit of a jump there. Gonna try and make sure I stay light on this branch. I take this lanyard off now. So make my way to the floor now and then retrieve my gear with a bit of luck. Stand clear for descent. Okay, just going to take this off. And I'm just going to go get my retrieval ball, which I left on my bag. And then hopefully everything will come out smoothly. Bit of luck. So stand clear for ropes coming out. What's my time, Kate?
2:06.
Again, stand clear. Stand clear in case it falls all the way to the floor. Okay, just caught on that last branch. Just going to try and bring this down nice and gently. Stand clear again. That's time. Sweet. So that's the demo. Okay, so that was the Masters with the full run through from the ground to the top to all 4 bells, getting them out, and then a full demo at the end there. The only thing I'd like to just add now, while I've got you, is the UK has been doing 2 ropes, so installing 2 ropes from the ground and then ascending up with the 2 ropes, doing the entire climb like you just saw in the full run through, and then pulling your 2 ropes out. So that's the only difference with the UK that we have been doing lately. So yeah, other than that, if you enjoyed the series, give it a like, comment anything down in the bottom, we'll get back to you if we can with answers, and thanks for watching. And it's gone and done one of the things I didn't want it to do. Okay, that's it. So into the discretionary column now at the bottom. There's quite a few here. So we've.
Is it penalty column or discretionary?
Penalties. What did I say? That's the Masters overall. So yeah, that's that. I don't know how. The descent. Our rope was probably right in my face, but. That's brilliant.